Hey y'all, it's Kate from LoveStory, and I'm checking in on today is Monday, October 5th, and this is the first day of this week's reading vlog, and I have a lot to update on. But first, I want to try something new, and let me know if you like this or not. When I'm reading, I keep track of different quotes that I like in the reading, and I have reading quotes going back to 2013, I think is the earliest, maybe 2012. And they're just kind of sitting there, so I thought I'd maybe utilize them and start each of my check-ins with a quote from my reading past, essentially. So today's quote comes from an essay actually by Joan Didion, who's one of my favorites, and I'm going to be doing a video on nonfiction writers soon, and so look for more on Joan Didion then. But this is an essay from Joan Didion titled Letter from Paradise from her book Slouching Toward Bethlehem. The quote says, "Sugar cane now blows where the Nevada went aground." And I just love that quote. And so that's from October 5th, 2013 when I read that quote originally. So that's the new thing for today, for this week. Different quotes from my reading history. Let me know if you like it or not. And now on to the reading. So this weekend I finished 2 more books actually. So the first book I finished is the Book of Lost Fragrances, the book I've been talking so much about. I love this book. It was a fantastic read, so much to look into. I can't say enough about it. I think I actually gave it 4.5 stars because there was a little bit that was hard to keep track of, but overall a fantastic book, and there will definitely, at the very least, be in my recent reads video that's coming very soon also. I also finished The Devil Wears Prada by Lauren Weisberger, and this book I was not as excited about as the Book of Lost Fragrances. It wasn't very well written. The story underneath the bad writing and editing was decent, but the movie was much better than that. So I gave that 2 stars just because the story was, underneath all the writing, was a good story. But I have also started in on the second book of this series, Revenge Wears Prada, The Devil Returns, which is, I'm only a couple chapters in so far, but it's a lot better writing in it, so it's more enjoyable. I'm actually enjoying reading this a lot more than The Devil Wears Prada, and it's still kind of from Andy's point of view, but it's told in third person limited from Andy's point of view, so you don't get as much of the whininess that you get in The Devil Wears Prada. And so far it's a lot better than the first book, but I'm still very early into the book, so we'll see how it goes with that. Making my way through Bleak House by Charles Dickens. Still such good writing. The characters just have me sucked in. The scenery has me sucked in. Sometimes you lose track of who's who, but the characters are so fascinating that you don't really care while you're reading it. And I've also started reading, because I finished the Book of Lost Fragrances, I've started reading The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom, and I've read, this is my second Mitch Albom book. I read Tuesdays with Morrie earlier this year, and I really enjoyed that book. That was a 5-star book. That was nonfiction. This is fiction, and a very well-known book. Most people have at least heard of this book, if not read it. And it's a short book, so I anticipate being done with it very soon. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. I love the idea of describing 5 different people from your life that you meet in heaven once you die. So far I'm enjoying that, and Bleak House, and I'm also, what else am I doing? Making my way through Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood in the ebook. I'm probably about a quarter of the way through there. I'm still really intrigued, like I was last week. Really enjoying that. And making my way through the audiobook of The Subtle Knife, which is the second book in his his Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman. I am really enjoying seeing this second story told from different points of views. One thing that I'm kind of missing is Lyra's demon. We don't get as much of him because in this new world that Lyra's in, some of the demons are inside the people that are conscious, and some of them are outside like Lyra's, and so her demon has to hide himself a lot more than he did in the first book. And Lyra's also getting older and more grown up, and so she doesn't rely on him as much as she did in the first book. But I'm really enjoying The Subtle Knife also, and so that's my check-in for a day. Look for new videos coming hopefully later today and later this week, and let me know what you guys thought, what you're reading, what you want me to read next, and we'll check in with you again soon. Bye. Hey y'all, it's Kate from LoveStory, and I'm just checking in on this reading vlog. It's Tuesday, October 6th. And so, like I said yesterday, I'm starting and trying out a new thing with quotes from my reading past. So today's quote comes from the same author as yesterday, Joan Didion, from the same, from her book, Slouching Towards Bethlehem, and it's from the essay Rock of Ages. The quote says, but the fact of it was that I liked it out there, a ruin devoid of human vanities, clean of human illusions, an empty place reclaimed by the weather, where a woman plays an organ to stop the wind's whining, and an old man plays ball with a dog named Duke. I could tell you that I came back because I had promises to keep, but maybe it was because nobody asked me to stay. And that quote just reaches deep inside me. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time. You can see exactly what she is writing about. You can feel her feelings. Joan Didion is an amazing writer. I can't wait to talk about her in my nonfiction post. So look more for that later this week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday. So my current reads include Still with Bleak House by Charles Dickens. Still getting my way through. I'm really enjoying it. His writing is so good. Continuing on with the 5 people we meet in heaven. So I've now gotten to the point of the book where we start meeting people in heaven. So we've just met our first person, and it's so weirdly exciting because, like, obviously if he's in heaven, he's dead. But I just, like I said yesterday, I love the idea of having 5 people from your life that you meet in heaven, and they explain why they were in your life, what you did to them, for them, and all of that. So that's exciting. I'm still making my way through the ebook of Alias Grace, and still making my way through the audiobook of The Subtle Knife, although I think either today or tomorrow I'll end up finishing that. I'm very close to the end. So that is that, and I will link another video here, but I've just decided this week, last night as I was trying to fall asleep, that I'm entering the world of DNFs, and so I created a short video on DNFs, which was exciting to do because this is so new to me, and so exciting. So I've decided to DNF Revenge Wears Prada based on my new system of reading 100 pages and DNFing it or continuing on after that. And so you've heard me complain about this writer and these books so much. I'm like, why am I putting myself through this? Why just not enter the DNF world? And so I finally decided, thanks to Howard, who kept pushing me to enter it. I think mostly because he was tired of hearing me complain about these books. So I've decided to DNF Revenge Wears Prada, the second book of The Devil Wears Prada. I just can't do Andy anymore. I can't do it. And so that's my quick check-in for today. Look for more check-ins tomorrow, I guess, on Wednesday. Maybe I'll do another check-in. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Hey y'all, it's Kate from LoveStory, and I am checking in on Wednesday, October 7th? 7th. So yesterday, after I filmed the check-in, I finished 2 books. Well, I finished one and I DNF'd another. I don't remember if I told this or not yesterday, but I'm starting DNFing books now, and I'm so excited, and I did a whole video about it. I'll tag it in here once I put this up this weekend. So I decided to DNF but Revenge Wears Prada. The series just wasn't good, wasn't me. Anyways, because I DNF'd that, I started a new book, which is actually for the book club I'm in with work. Everyone knows of this book. Most people have read it by now. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I haven't read this book yet, but I really wanted to. There's been so much good press about it, and so many of my friends and the booktubers have suggested it and said great things about it that I really wanted to read it since it's come out. I am a couple chapters in, and so far I'm liking the writing. The writing is really good, especially since it's a lot of times so hard to write from a child's point of view. I'm really enjoying it so far. And let's see. Oh, I forgot to do our quote of the day. So this is again from 2013, but this time a different book than I had the previous 2 days. So this quote is from a book called Discovering You, and it's talking about, it says, "It be loved, treasured, and read through several times over," and this is basically how I feel about books, and so it summed up my love for books so well. Yesterday I finished the audiobook of The Subtle Knife by Philip Pullman, the second book in his Dark Materials trilogy, and so this morning I started listening to The Amber Spyglass. So that's the final book of the trilogy, and I'm excited to see where the story goes. The second book was so good. I gave it 5 stars. I had no idea what to expect from that book or this book, but because I hadn't read those books before and I hadn't seen the movies, I don't even know if they've done movies of the other 2 books, if it was just the first book. Someone let me know in the comments. I'm sure they'll let me know. But I really enjoyed The Subtle Knife and seeing all the different points of views and stuff. So now I'm on to The Amber Spyglass, so we'll see how that one goes. I'm still making my way through Bleak House. Still excellent writing by Charles Dickens. I love it. That's a ginormous book, 800 some pages, so it's taking me a while to get through, but I think I'm about like halfway, maybe a little before that. Still reading The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. That one is much shorter, but since I read by chapters, it's taking me slower than a normal book would because the chapters are so short. Maybe I need to up it to a certain amount of pages per night. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. And I'm also making my way through the ebook of Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood, which is still really good, and now it's getting really interesting because she's doing a lot of flashbacks as Grace talks to the doctor. So we're seeing different points in her life and different things that happened, and I'm assuming what has led her to where she's at right now. So that is my quick check-in for today, Wednesday. It's a busy day because I have library school tonight, but I will check in with you all tomorrow. Alright, happy Wednesday. Bye. Hey friends, it's Kate from LoveStory, just checking in today with, what are we, Thursday, October 8th. It's been a very long week, but I've gotten a lot of good reading done. So as you know from yesterday, I've started 2 new books. The Amber Spyglass audiobook by Philip Pullman. I'll be interested to see where this story goes. Obviously they're going to be searching for this spyglass. We gotta find out what it is, what it does, why they need it. But that's been kind of the theme of the other 2 books. So far that's that. And also Where the Crawdads Sing has started, I think it was yesterday. It's already turning into a tragic story. Kaya, who's the main character, her mother has run away and all of her siblings, and now she's stuck with an abusive father, and now there was a dead body found. And that's about where I'm at right now. Side note, I've decided with these, until someone says otherwise, to just talk about the books and not worry about giving away spoilers, because it's so much harder to talk in check-ins about books when you can't say really anything about them. And so I'm just gonna talk about them and not worry about spoilers, because I have other videos that have no spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, then check out the other videos, but I have a hard time talking about books without giving away any kind of spoilers. And this is still at the beginning of Where the Crawdads Sing, and I believe the dead body chase is in the blurb on the back, so it's not giving away spoilers really, unless the blurb is giving away spoilers, and then that's not my fault. Anyways, so that's Where the Crawdads Sing. I'm reading that for book club. Bleak House by Charles Dickens. I'm still making my way through that. I think it's dropping in rating for me. Dickens' writing is still impeccable, really good writing. Descriptions are amazing. I love the characters. But I'm losing track of the story because there's so many characters to keep track of. I'm losing track of the what I thought was the three main characters, and how all of these other characters are playing into them. It's just getting confusing because there's so many characters, but I'm still loving the characters so much that I'm still reading through it for now. The 5 People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. I'm still loving this, and the fact that now, after we've fully gotten through the first person that I think it's Eddie met in heaven, we learn that not only is he going to meet these people in heaven, but they're also going to tell him about lessons that he's supposed to be learning from them, from meeting in heaven, and about their life and how his life has intersected with their life. And so that's really interesting, and Howard has actually read this book a long time ago and absolutely loved it, so we'll see how that goes. And then the last book, the ebook that I'm reading, is Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood, and I'm still really enjoying that one. I'm enjoying the book like I'm enjoying Bleak House, really. It's hard to keep track of who was who, and like the doctor that we have as one of the main narrators, I'm trying to figure out what side he's on, how he feels about Grace. Because when I first started reading him, I was like, okay, he's gonna be there to prove that Grace is innocent and free her. But as I keep reading, I'm like, does he think that, or does he think that she's guilty? Is he trying to prove that I guess he's trying to figure out how she's not insane, but he still thinks that she did this murder. So I'm really confused by the doctor and his thoughts and what's going on with him. But I'm going to keep reading because I'm intrigued to see where he ends up. But anyways, that's my check-in for today. And we'll check in with you guys again tomorrow from the office. Have a great Thursday. See you. Oh, and I forgot to read off today's reading quote for my reading history, of course. I was just so excited to talk about books that I forgot to read the quote. So today's quote was read on October 8th, which is today's date, in 2013 by me. That was back when I was in grad school, I think. It's from the book called Discovering You, and the quote says, "She felt a dark blush ripen her cheeks." And we've all been there when we've had a crush or a attractive guy or girl that has noticed us or started talking about us, or even, like for me, anyone has given me any kind of compliment. I'm horrible at taking compliments. I get so embarrassed for some reason. And so I've totally felt that dark blush just spread across your face. And in this instance, it wasn't so much an embarrassment, but a turning on type of blush. But I knew exactly what the writer meant here, so that's why I highlighted that, because I really enjoyed knowing that and being able to share that with the character. Anyways, that's today's reading quote from Discovering You. See ya. Hey y'all, it's Kate from LoveStory, and today is Friday. Yay, we made it to Friday again. October 9th. And I don't have much to really check in today. I'm still working through all the same books, still enjoying them. But I did want to give another quote of the day, reading quote from my reading history, because this one made me chuckle when I read it, and I think we all need a good laugh here and there. So today's quote comes from an Arthur Miller play called All My Sons. If you don't know Arthur Miller, he wrote Death of a Salesman. And so today's quote comes from All My Sons, and I read this back in 2017. The quote says, "I wear the pants and she beats me with the belt." And if anyone's ever been disciplined by their parents with a belt, you will totally get this. This is actually, I think, a husband talking about his wife, but it's still the same idea. And it just made me chuckle because I could see someone saying that. And so that is from All My Sons by Arthur Miller. And also, I need to get your opinion on this shirt. I love it because it's comfortable, but it reminds me of a coloring book. I just want to color in all the white spaces. Does anyone else feel that? I don't know, maybe not. Anyways, let's see, still reading Where the Crawdads Sing. Still reading Bleak House, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, which I'm hoping to finish by the time I post this video tomorrow on Saturday. Still listening to the Amber Spyglass. I just started that, so I'm slowly making my way through there. Making my way through Alias Grace. Also, a lot of long books this week, so not a lot to really update on as far as that goes. But I just wanted to say, happy Friday. We made it to Friday. It's almost the weekend, so have a good time, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Bye. Hey y'all, just wanted to check in. I'm reading Where the Crawdads Sing right now while I'm at work because there's absolutely nothing going on because of the pandemic and everything. And I just had to check in because I just got through, I think it was chapter 7. And there was so much that was totally unexpected in this chapter. If you don't want any spoilers, skip ahead, even though this, I don't know if this is really spoilers or not, but it's just something I've got to talk to with someone, and y'all are my people to talk to about books, so I'm talking to you whether you like it or not. So first of all, Kyla has a bonding moment with her dad, which is so unexpected. Like, I thought he was this major jerk that we were supposed to hate throughout the whole book, but come up to page 56, 55, and they're bonding and they're fishing together, and he calls her hon and says, like, we used to have money, but then we didn't, but maybe I'll take you to where we used to live someday. Like, totally unexpected. What the heck? Where did that come from? And also, I just had like a very appreciative moment when it's Delilah Owens is writing about Kaya looking at the owl flying in the sky. She says, Kaya spotted the soft breast feathers of a great horned owl floating on the surface. And I don't know why, but that just like gave me a sudden calm that settled over me for like just that moment. And then I was back into the story and figuring out what was actually going on. But it was like, whoa. Sudden calm, those are always nice. And I just appreciate that nature is just so interwoven in this book that you can't escape it. It's like, bam, here's nature. You walk outside and you see nature. Why not have nature thrown in your face in a book? And I just love that. So anyways, I just wanted to check in real quick because I had to share that with someone. And like I said, y'all are my people to share book stuff with. So let me know if you've read Where the Crawdads Sing. Let me know how you felt about this sudden bonding moment with Kaya and her dad. If you haven't, then pick up Where the Crawdads Sing because everyone, like absolutely everyone I've seen, loves this book. I haven't seen a single bad thing about it other than maybe its length because it's a pretty long book. But so far I'm on page 59, chapter 8, and it's so good. Anyways, I'll check in with you all again. Talking is hard sometimes. I'll check in with you all again very soon. Have a great Friday, and we'll see you all tomorrow and Saturday. Bye. Hey y'all, it's Kate from LoveStory, and just checking in for one more time this week on Saturday, October 10th. Today's reading quote comes from a Shakespeare play, Henry IV. Thou hitst 1,000 daggers in thy thoughts, which is classic Shakespeare line. Shakespeare is known for his amazing writing, obviously, and he's got some really killer lines. That was one of them that when I went through a phase where I read all of Shakespeare. It was just like this big giant old book that was all of Shakespeare's plays and his poems and everything, and so I took that out of that. So now in for our check-in. So I'm working my way through the Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman audiobook. I actually had to go back because I lost track, and so now I'm backtracking. But so far it's decent. I think the first two books were better so far, but I'm liking it enough to keep with it so far. Still making my way through Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This is becoming really interesting. You saw me check in a couple times yesterday with stuff that's happening in this book, and I'm really loving this book so far, so it's lived up to the hype. Also working my way through Bleak House by Charles Dickens. This book is slowly dropping for me. I'm still interested in it. I still love the characters enough to keep reading, but it's dropping in rating for me because I'm losing track of everyone. Still making my way through Alias Grace 2. We have a lot of long books this week, so not a lot of changes. But one change that did happen was this morning I finished The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, which was so good, so good. Mitch Albom's writing is so gentle and it sneaks up on you at the end. I had like one moment where I just cried for a whole second, and then I continued reading till the end. I woke up this morning thinking, okay, I'm gonna finish this book so I have at least one more book that I finish this week. And when I started reading it, I didn't have to force my way to the end. I just wanted to keep reading. So I've read that basically all morning until I finished it. So because I finished that book, tonight I'm going to start on the classic Sometimes a Great Notion by Ken Casey. If you don't know who Ken Casey is, he also wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, another classic. And I just wanted to read the Goodreads summary for this book because I thought it was I haven't read the book yet, but I think it's a really good summary of what the book is about. So it says, following the astonishing success of his first novel, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Ken Casey wrote what Charles Bowden calls, quote, one of the few essential books written by an American in the last half century. End quote. This wild-spirited tale tells of a bitter strike that rages through a small lumber town along the Oregon coast. Bucking that strike out of sheer cussedness are the Stampers. Out of the Stamper family's rivalries and betrayals, Ken Casey has crafted a novel with the mythic impact of Greek tragedy. And that just makes me want to read the book, so that was a great summary. So to sum up, I've finished 2 books. The Subtle Knife earlier this week, the audiobook of that, and the 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I DNF'd one book the Revenge Wears Prada, and I started 3 books. The Amber Spyglass, where they're Pradancing, and now tonight I'll be starting Sometimes a Great Notion. And so hopefully this coming week I'll have more updates for you. I'll hopefully work my way through Bleak House and Alias Grace and the Amber Spyglass and be able to move on to new books. But that's my check-in for today, and I hope you guys have a great Saturday and a great weekend, and I'll check in with y'all tomorrow. Bye.